I am actually very excited to introduce this man to my readers. I got introduced to a video that I thought was so well done, well shot, well sung, and so touching. And it's from a distance, and it's from a new artist called Robert Bannon. And we have him here today.
Thank,
Robert,
thank
oh,
you
you're
so
welcome.
much. I'm so excited to be here with you guys, and thank you for those kind words. I really,
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate it.
How did this come about? How did you get the video? I know that you have an album, that it's part of an album.
Mhm.
Tell us about it all.
Well, I did a show before we got stuck in this mess of this pandemic together, and in November at 54 Below, and my music director at the time said to me, "We should put out a single, just a single, just put out music, let people hear your music." And then a single turned into 5 songs, and 5 songs turned into 12. And as we were about to go in the studio, the coronavirus hit, and we literally, the studio engineer was one of the first people I knew of that got diagnosed. So we ended, and we couldn't carry on. And I thought to myself, there's got to be a way to provide work for artists. I miss singing when I'm not singing and acting, and I know the musicians missed. So we were thinking about songs to do, and everyone recorded this song from their house. So I bought recording equipment in my basement of my house. The musicians all recorded from their home. And I thought to myself, what song kind of solidifies what we've been through? And someone said From a Distance, and I thought that kind of works. It's really intimidating to do a song that is so iconic. It's so known. Julie Gold wrote the song Bette Midler. I mean, when you hear the song, I think of her. I think of her music video and her in the black and white singing the song. But we tried to make it our own, and I really wanted it to encompass the time. Me and you are at a distance right now, and our families are at a distance. So it just, as cheesy as it was, it just seemed to fit the moment.
When you started putting together the album, what other songs came about?
We did a bunch of great American songbook classics, but we did them in a new way. Ted Firth and Rich DeRosa, they're both
Mm,
jazz arrangers, and they've been around the block a couple of times with everybody. They arranged
love
that.
Ted Firth.
Ted Firth is so amazing. He was the first person to arrange a song on the album. He arranged a version of How Deep is the Ocean. It's a duet with me and Jane Monheit, which, oh, excuse me, I don't know who I am to have those two on the album, but it just kind of all came and happened. So it's got a bunch of great American songbook classics, new and old songs, but my own new version of it. And of course, From a Distance is on there, and it's kind of tells my story. The album's called Unfinished Business because that's what my one-man show was called, because I sung and went to school, went to Juilliard Prep, and was a musical theater kid, and worked a bunch as a kid. And then I got sick in high school and stopped singing for a decade and never acted, never sung, never did anything. And it's kind of my journey back to it. So this is my little unfinished business project. So it's so much fun to just be able to be an artist and try to create some fun art.
Now, I know you're a singer, but are you also an actor? Were you doing musical theater?
I did. I am. I have been lucky enough to do a bunch of SNL episodes and sometimes play whatever they asked me to be. The most fun was when I was in Electric Shoes, which is like a fake band, and it was with Keenan. And thank God for residual checks that still come in during the quarantine. And I went to acting school late. I went to acting school in my 30s. I went to William Esper, which is in New York, and I did a 2-year Meisner program because I felt like if you're going to be an actor or a singer or an artist, you really should know what you're doing. So yes, I've done some fun musical theater. I got to be Roger in Rent in a regional production, and I got to debut We Will Rock You, the Queen musical in the United
Oh,
States.
yeah.
So if
Were
people
you
ask,
in that?
I did do it. I was Galileo. I got to do the big Bohemian Rhapsody ending and the whole thing. So
I saw that.
yeah, I did a version, the first version that they allowed come here before it went to Madison Square Garden. We did a regional
Okay.
production of it here. So it's been a real fun journey. I'm having
What
fun.
what roles would you like to take on?
I really want to be in company. I want to be Bobby. I mean, I'm Robert. And if you're somebody who's known me since I'm a kid, then you call me Bobby. And I just love his journey, his arc, and Stephen Sondheim is brilliant. My problem with musical theater, the whole reason why I started cabaret and one-man shows and stuff is because I don't listen to any music directors. I just do whatever I want. I'm always in trouble. They're always like, cut off here, say it like this. And then I go on stage and I don't know, I just do whatever I want. So I figured I better do my own show.
That's not a good thing to say on this video.
Music, I listen to everybody now. I've grown. I promise.
Good thing. What songwriters would you like to take on? Whose music would you like to sing?
I love Johnny Mercer. I do a version of the Nancy Wilson or Barry Manilow When October Goes, and I think Johnny Mercer's lyrics, somebody who really paints a picture. I think music today, while it's fun if I'm working out to listen to the current music that's on the radio, but lyrics and melody are something that doesn't really exist as much anymore. And when you listen to Johnny Mercer's lyrics, he tells a story. And it's such a vivid picture. I remember reading once that Liza Minnelli said every song is a monologue. And
Yes.
it really, to tell a story and have an arc to it is, I think, what he does so well. So it's been really fun to dig into lyrics like that. They don't make them like that anymore. Mm-mm.
Well, I'm more into the Adam Gettles and the Jason Robert Brown.
Well, Jason Robert Brown, I mean, you talk about a musical theater writer. I mean, his songs are, my goodness, iconic.
It's my favorite question to ask.
Sure.
They say that eyes are the windows of the soul, but I think songs are. Mm. If you had to choose a song or a cycle of songs, what would it be to describe you?
Interesting. Well, a cycle of songs is, talk about Jason Robert Brown, Songs from a New World. I could listen to that on repeat for now till eternity. There's a Peter Allen song called Once Before I Go that was in The Boy from Oz, and it's been covered by a bunch of people. And not that I'm going anywhere, but I just think that the words to that song, it ends the album. I think that the word, once before I go, I just want you to know I've loved you all along. And like, I think that the point of the song is before you go, there's something you want and have to do, and everybody out there has something that they've always wanted to do, and for me it was to perform and to sing. And at 18 I did an audition for Rent on Broadway to replace Roger, and I messed up the audition, and it's the reason why I didn't sing for 10 years or act for 10 years. Oh. And it was the missing piece to me. It was something that I always wanted to do, and I was afraid. So it's become my mantra to every audience that I have the opportunity to speak to, or every reader or list viewer, is that everybody has something that they've always wanted to do or that they're scared to do. And I think that song kind of sums up that, once before we're done, we need to finish that. So I it gives me courage to keep going in the days when I feel nervous or insecure, to just keep trucking along. So that song means a lot to me because it kind of keeps me going.
You need to go get The Actor Survival Guide by James Barbour.
Done.
It just came out. It's one of the best books I can recommend to people right now, because if you have any kind of insecurities or any like hangups, it tells you how to get rid of them.
Well, then I'm going to overnight it from Amazon right away.
It's a really great book. I really do recommend it. For the album, when does it come out? Has it come out yet?
No, it's not out yet. It's going to be coming out the end of April. It's on LML Music, which is an independent music label that's based out of California that does Broadway and cabaret. And I'm so grateful to be a part of a little record label family. And it'll be out. And we even were able to go to the Triad and socially distance film the album live. So we'll have a little album release virtual party as well. So it saved me this past year when everything was shut, and I had shows in LA and shows in New York and shows in New Jersey that all got canceled, but it kept me up and going was to do something creative. And I don't know if I would have done it without, it's the silver lining of this terrible time, was just that I was able to focus my artistic side on something, and I'm proud of it. I'm excited for people to hopefully listen.
With this album, when we put up this interview, I'm going to put your From a Distance video down below so people can see it, so they can really see how truly what an artist you are.
Thank you so much. It was so intimidating to sing the song, and it was, and then filming it, filming the video. I asked people on social media to send me pictures of their families and them throughout this time. My mother is a healthcare worker. My brother is a first responder. He's a police officer. My whole family is full of teachers and nurses and firemen and cops. And I just knew that as a family, I missed them. And I thought, how every family is missing their relatives, every friend is missing their friends. There's no lunches and Christmases and holidays and birthdays. So I figured, let's see how people are being creative, and people send videos of graduations, and people send videos of people zooming and FaceTiming each other from all around the world. So it really is thanks to them. It's really, they made the video. I'm just there wandering around the beach. They made it touching because they showed the love that they're sharing to their family and friends through this. And I think that's what helps us all get through this, right? Is some kind of connection to one another. I was sitting at home on a Thursday night, and I got an email in my email that said that they were searching actors databases like Backstage or Actors Access or one of those websites. And a lady said to me, would you be available tomorrow to pre-tape something for Saturday Night Live? It's a featured piece. And I said, okay, but I Google searched her because I was like, this is a spam email. It's fake. No one from Saturday Night Live is just emailing my Gmail account on a Thursday night. And she ended up being the casting director. And then she said, I'm sorry, I can't use you, because when I sent her a photo, she said, you have long hair. Like, my hair was like this length. And she was like, we're looking for someone with a shaved head. So I said, well, I grew up watching the show. I'm obsessed with the show. And the opportunity to be on set at Saturday Night Live, I'll go to Supercuts around the corner and shave my head right now. and she said, you really will? And I said, yes, I will shave my head if you say that I can film something for Saturday Night Live. And she said, okay, let me ask the director. And they said, sure. And I went to Supercuts and I shaved my head. And I did this Tsa Sketch where it was during the time where they were limiting people coming to the United States from Middle Eastern countries. There was the ban, and they were trying to show that I walked through the TSA line and everyone else couldn't. And I was holding like a big giant, it looked like some kind of a weapon wrapped in a garbage bag. I looked like I had these big boots on, my head was shaved, I looked scary. And they let me go through and they didn't let other people go through. And she remembered me because I shaved my head. And see, there's a trick there. There's always a way to be memorable. Find your way to be memorable out there. And I've done like 22 episodes of it since.
Wow. Of all the same character?
No, of all different things. I mean, sometimes it's so small, I could be in the White House press corps and be doing nothing and just be background work. Or sometimes I'm playing fake violin with Jimmy Fallon, or they've called me in to do whatever they needed. And to get paid to eat, NBC dinner and hang out on set, and I'd pay them. I think it's easier to be on the show than it is to get a ticket to the show. So it's been a really fun way to sit, and see part of that. So I'm so grateful to that hairdresser at the Supercuts in Fort Lee, New Jersey, because it really let me do this fun work.
What celebrity was the most impressive to meet on Saturday Night Live?
That's a fun question. Kenan Thompson is the most sweet cast member. He is always so sweet. I've seen him, take pictures with kids and say hello to everybody. And people are working. You try to be professional, and they're such a well-oiled machine, and they have such the live element of that, and how much things are moving on that set are amazing. How they make it work. So you try to be really quiet and kind. But Kenan was so nice to us all. And I have to say, Gal Gadot, who was Wonder Woman, she walked up to, there was only 3 of us on set that day, and she walked right up to us and she said, hi, I'm Gal. Hi. And how are you? How are you doing? And it's just sometimes nice to, have a human interaction with somebody instead of you're just part of the wallpaper. So that she was strikingly friendly and 100 feet tall and beautiful.
And also, you do something for Playbill Selects.
We do the meaning the shows that we do we well, and during this pandemic we have the man who runs the record label that I'm putting out on the album on. We came up with this idea to do live streaming like we're talking right now, we do a show on Thursdays that we've done 45 weeks in a row of different guests to promote something. It's called Quarantine Cabaret and Cocktails. A lot of from Playbill to Broadway, like people have really selected. You guys at Times Square Chronicles have put us on your things to watch list, which we're so incredibly grateful for. We've had all sorts of people from Broadway and music. And we just started a new series called the Broadway Cast Reunion Series, which we've teamed up with performing arts centers around the country to present Broadway casts of the shows that they were scheduling to have on tour. So next week we have The Lion King with Heather Headley, with the current Simba, and all the theaters that were going to have The Lion King this year as part of their tour. They get to give it to their audience to say, hold on to your tickets, remember the
Oh,
art.
that's fabulous.
And here's a little taste of what you're going to see. And the actors talk about their part of it. We just did Hadestown last week, and our first one was Frozen. So we've been trying to find ways, to keep people to remember the arts, because I think the arts are the forgotten business through all of this. There's not a lot of help for a lot of the artists and the performing arts centers, not only in New York, but around the country. So,
well, you kind of figure like what ticked Washington off, because Broadway was the only place that did not get a stimulus.
for real. So true.
So
And those theater rents and all of those, it's not just the actors or the producers, everyone that works there, from the box office workers to the ushers, like help the artists. So
absolutely. Well, we are so glad to have had you.
oh my goodness.
You were an amazing interview, and I look forward to introducing other people to your song. I think it's truly wonderful.
Thank you so much. I will be reading the Times Square Chronicles. I will be keeping up with all of the amazing, I find out so much news from you guys. You guys put out the content and the news that helps us know what's going on. So
We try.
You do.
Yeah.
You do it. I really I enjoy it. I know the well. So you guys are wonderful. Thank you.
No, that means a lot.